Well, hey, good morning, everybody. It's Dave. There's Bo. There's the yard. We're going to go through and walk it today. It is Saturday, the 20th of December, 2025. Merry Christmas to everyone, since we won't be shooting another video until after Christmas. It's wild to think it's here already. But the weather has been very warm this week. We've had some 80-degree weather. And next few days we're going to get some rain, so it's going to be interesting to see how much rain we get, because we've already had about 5 inches of rain here where I live. We normally get about 12, so we're already halfway through our rain amount that we need for the year, so we don't have to worry about drought or anything like that. And then this storm is supposed to give us 2 to 3 inches of rain, so it's pretty substantial. And let's go ahead and take a look at some things around the garden. The leucojum over here, you can see how quickly, when we saw this last week, you know, we just had a couple little blossoms and that's it. You can see how quickly, again, how tall that they get, how fast that they grow, and it's really one of my favorite bulbs. It naturalizes every single year. It's quite honestly, one of my favorite things of the garden, and I have several clumps of them circling around the crepe myrtle tree here. Little cranesbill geranium. Some diamondia down here. This is a great ground cover. It does have a yellow flower occasionally. Mostly it's just foliage, but think about a miniature gazania that is very compact to the ground. Back here, I have planted a couple of things. I'll show you out in the yard. And then, let's see, we got Bo cruising around over here. We've got Orange Dream, finally defoliated, like 1 or 2 more blossom or leaves to go. The Forsythia over here, can't wait for that to bloom pretty soon. Over here, we've got some foliage of the belladonna lily coming up. Belladonna is called Naked Lady because when it comes up and blooms in August, it doesn't have any foliage because the foliage comes out this time of year. So it's really kind of a cool plant. We've got some pansies and violas there. Lots of fern. This is a dark leaf Japanese maple. It might be bloodgood, but I don't know. Over here, take a look at that. Again, just a beautiful succulent blossom there, kind of weeping down for that plant, and same thing for this one over here. Probably going to get transplanted. We'll see. Over here, I spent some time since our last video cleaning this section out, moving, had a couple of rocks here, just like this rock over here. You don't realize how large it is. I buried most of it, and it just was too large for basically the rock border. And so I buried most of it, and it just gives Bo a chance to sit out in the planter, and also for me to stand while I'm doing work. Over here I did plant, and I don't think you can see it too well because it's just sticks, but one of the roses from back behind the house. This is Madame Plantier, I believe it is pronounced, and it's one of the old-fashioned roses from Antique Rose Emporium. We've got some columbine back here, Chamaecyparis further back, and then beautiful heliotrope blooms there. So that'll be buried probably a little bit more over to the right, just so that there's some space between the rocks. So yesterday I finished this project, and I'm trying to get up here without getting muddy because I did water. A couple weeks ago I completed like this section over here of the wood border, just to meet the rock border, and then you can see the lighter wood border here. And so I just put that in, finished that up last night, And on the flip side, I cleaned out this area here with all the cedar mulch, cut back all the Liriope spicata silver dragon, got the beautiful stems of the Bloodgood Japanese maple here, the Clivia off to the left, some daylilies, penguin pine, heliotropium in the background with the Disigothica there. So I've got this area kind of now roped off. This ends right at the trunk of the liquid amber that got cut down. And so my goal is to have just a nice access pathway around here, and we will continue, meaning me, I will continue this border over here. So once again, I can get these weeds out, and I can make sure that this is a separate border, which will be a little bit easier to maintain rather than having everything just kind of wild. So anyway, this area is looking really nice. Can't wait for the Shishigashira to leaf out. That looks just, it's such a beautiful plant, and I'm so happy I brought it kind of to the foreground of this particular bed. And so now it's kind of like, do I want maples along the very front of the bed, or do I want them further back? Just some ideas I'm throwing around with as I restructure that bed. Magnolia Solangiana Elizabeth there. Same thing over here. We've got the beautiful Jetalo orange that I just picked up here. This one, again, ended up in some pictures. I'm gonna move that. There we go. So ended up in some pictures that I took when I was out and about at a nursery. And I'm just like, if I took several pictures of this, it's gotta come home with me. So just a beautiful plant. Can't wait for that to leaf out, and that'll be kind of over here where it's sitting there. All right, over on the other side of the yard here, we've got just a few leaves remaining on the Sangogaku. This is a coral bark maple, and so that's looking really beautiful. My goal here is to continue the bricks out into the yard area, kind of cruise it around, and then have a pergola over here. In this area, I don't think I've done a whole bunch since last week. The video I did last week had us going back here. I'll just kind of show you that again if you missed it. So we've got an old washer, metal wash bucket that the base had kind of rotted away at it. At least it wasn't watertight, that's for sure. So I went ahead and planted it with that Leonotis, give it a little bit more height so we can get underneath that plant, do some irises around it, and then I'm working my way out from this area. Had pulled all the creeping fig off of the back fence. This is a crabapple right here. So I'll have some blossoms on the gold medal. Sweet pea shrub. A few bloom stalks on the irises. There's an open iris over there. Probably go ahead and prune the multi-grafted plum tree this week. All of these stems are from the giant tree lily, and these are ready to literally, probably I can pull them out right now. There we go. And so the bulbs are just down in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, and they're amazing. They will come up actually in just a few weeks. You'll start to see them emerge again. So it's always good to mark these so that you're not digging through them, which is something I have done in the past. This is a little spirea down here that'll come out really nicely in the spring. Lynn Anderson as the rose there. The cherry's ready to be pruned. I went ahead and did prune the apricot here. This is just a Blenheim or royal apricot. Took all the foliage off, went ahead and did all the pruning on it. So again, my goal here is to have this come out into the yard a little bit, rather than obviously into the house. But the idea here is to have the weight of it kind of here and have some branches coming out. So not only will it cover some of the pathway, but it'll kind of like merge over the entranceway to the back side of the house here, which I'll probably have a couple trees planted this winter here. All right, and Bo is just running around like crazy here. That needs to be pruned back into the gumdrop look of it. That is a bay laurel tree. And I also pruned the flowering, again, it's tough to see when it's just sticks. I went ahead and pruned the flowering apricot here. First year, I just left it alone, let it develop roots, and then I went ahead and pruned it up a little bit so that I could deal with more of the branching. The branching is going to be kind of a nice, wonderful tree in this area. It's a small tree. I'm going to keep it small, and I staked it also because it was not a straight trunk. Over here, most of the foliage here is pretty much done on the genetic dwarf peach and nectarine. You can kind of, you know, see it already falling, and that's going to be pruned back probably right at first of the year. Last thing over here is the gigantic Magnolia Solangiana Alexandria. I can't wait for that to bloom. I'm going to go ahead, probably in the next week or two, go ahead and prune this back as well. That way, get rid of all the crossing branches, get set up for the growth of the tree for the springtime, and it's one of my all-time favorite plants, and definitely probably the favorite plant of the yard. So anyway, I think that is everything I'm going to tell you about this week. I will see you next week with another tour of the garden and show you how everything is progressing. So let's head out to Bo. She's looking around, probably another cat nearby. All right, everybody, have a great week. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas.